Hey everyone, it's Jared here, and I'm excited to be back for the second edition of my Fastest Way to Get Faster lesson series. Now, the first series did incredible. It reached hundreds of thousands of drummers all around the world, so I'm stoked to be back to give you some new lessons and stuff that I've been working on that's really been helping me. So let's get started into the lesson. Now, speed is one of those things that it's kind of a touchy subject. Lots of drummers want to go fast, but they don't really always understand why or why they need to. Now, going fast around the drums, when you show non-drummers that you can do that, they're all impressed, right? So if you want to impress your friend or you want to impress your family member, your boyfriend or girlfriend, and you go really fast around the drums, they're right away going to think you're a good drummer. Now, being able to go fast on the drums doesn't mean you're a good drummer. It just means you can go fast. Now, it's one of these techniques that we want to have in our toolbox, but it isn't totally necessary. There are lots of successful drummers that really can't play that fast. Now, I like to play fast because I use it within a lot of the music I play. I use it within a lot of the solos. So it's a tool that I like to have in my toolbox. But it's not a necessary tool that you must have. Another thing I want to say is speed without control is useless. I once heard Chris Coleman say that if you had a Ferrari without brakes, you wouldn't be alive very long, because you take that thing down the road going super fast and you try and hit those brakes and you have no control. So it's really important to use this tool wisely. Don't overuse it in musical situations because that's going to get you fired, okay? So the first exercise that I prepared is called Paradiddle Madness. Now, I first got this name from listening to a solo by Mike McCalco, one of my teachers. He did this solo in one of his lesson DVDs called Molar Method Secrets, and it was only using paradiddles, just the single paradiddle. And it was this crazy, dynamic, really interesting solo, and so I kind of stole his name idea and applied it to this exercise. Now, this exercise uses the triple paradiddle, the double paradiddle, and the single paradiddle. So before you get into this exercise, just practice each of those paradiddles individually. Once you kind of get them under your hands, we can start to apply this exercise. So this starts on the snare drum and just moves down and then up the drums. Now, the triple paradiddle is the perfect exercise to go all the way down the drums and move back up because it changes lead hands. So it goes right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, and then it starts with the left hand. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, left. Watch. So it's very nice how it just naturally repeats itself. If you don't have a mid-tom, use the ride cymbal. So let me play this for you at 60 and 180 beats per minute. The next is a double paradiddle, and we're going to apply it in a similar way, except we're not going to go all the way down the drums. We're going to stop here on the mid-tom, or your ride cymbal if you don't have a mid-tom. This would look like this. Let me play this for you at 60 and 180 beats per minute. And finally, we have the single paradiddle. Now, just like we took off one drum for the double paradiddle, we're only going to play the single paradiddle between the snare and the high tom, like this. Again, I'll play it for you at 60 and 180 beats per minute. So you'll notice I wrote the triple paradiddle in a bar of 4/4. I wrote the double paradiddle in a bar of 3/4, and I wrote the single paradiddle in a bar of 2/4. The whole exercise works out to be 9 total beats. So let me play it for you in its entirety, moving from the triple to the double to the single, to the triple to the double to the single. I'm going to do it for you at both slow and fast speeds. Here we go. So I'd recommend you start this at a tempo you're comfortable with and then just slowly increase that in increments of 5 beats per minute at a time. I showed you where you'd start. So I would start at around 50 or 60 beats per minute. And then where I'm at is around 180, and it's still not perfectly clean, but that's kind of what I'm working on there. So I kind of showed you the tempo that I'm still really working on. I need to be really warmed up to be able to play it at that tempo. So you can push it even much faster than that, I'm sure, but do your best to start slow and then just increase it over time. Getting faster isn't about going from 0 to 100 miles an hour or from 60 to 180. It's really about making slow and incremental improvements. I'm demonstrating it a little bit differently here for you just to show you kind of what's possible if you put in some work. Because I started at 50 or 60 beats per minute, and now I can play it much faster than that just because of the amount of time that I invested and the amount of time I practiced this. So go ahead, get to your kit, start practicing. I'd recommend spending around 5 minutes on each of those exercises and then spend around 15 minutes on the entire exercise all put together. Get to your kit, start practicing.